Okay. Hey guys. Awesome. Give you guys some time to come on in. All right, let me go ahead and get started because I don't want us to be here long. Hey, I see you guys coming through, getting Instagram on point. Okay. Woot woot. All right, guys. Okay. Bam. Okay, hello. Thank you guys for tuning in. This is Harry Divine, also known as Diana, the Metaphysical Midwife, where you can find me on all my social sites as Harry Divine. I also have a feminine divine, it's called Divinely Kissed. It is a feminine based product line for women to connect with their sensual self. You can find the links in my description, Divinely Kissed, if you are interested in learning more about yoni eggs crystals and connecting your sensuality with your spirituality, you can go there. Let's get started today. As the student and the teacher, we are diving in another day at the power of prayer. So today's topic is it's worth it. It is worth it. So I want to share this portion of our topic today. Talk about it's worth it is really talking about the payoff when we're committing ourselves to something, whether it is your spiritual practice, whether it's in your business, that there is a payoff that we typically have to buy into to get to the said goal. And in between, or in the meantime, in the between time when we're in our goal or we're working in the goal, we feel like we hit a place of a plateau. And hitting that plateau sometimes will bring in these the spirit of doubt, or the ideas of doubt starts to kick in or finds its ways to seep into our consciousness. And in having those moments of doubt, we end up having this conversation with ourselves, or at least that's how it goes down for me. Hey, Yemi King, I see you coming through. The conversation I typically will have with myself is like, oh my God, do I really want this? Do I really want to do this? It's not so much do I really want this, but do I really want to do this? Whatever the meantime, in the meantime, between time actions it has to take for it to get to the goal. And we can get restless and within it because we're like, I'm doing this work, I'm seeing small changes, but not coming into the full maturation of the ideal or of the end goal that I want to get to. And it's like, I could see what my end goal is, but all I see right now is all the work that's before me right now. And that can become overwhelming, focusing on the work is going to take to get there. And sometimes we do that will cause us to jump ahead of ourselves and then either lose motivation and or lose not so much hope, but maybe lose motivation because we realize how much is really needed for ourselves. And then we're trying to take it all in at one time, not realizing that you take change in bite-sized pieces. It's like you're not going to be the let's say if a weight loss goal was like your goal, like you're not going to be your ideal weight loss goal and physique, by 3 days. It's a process. It's a step-by-step process in working and gaining within yourself to get to the ideal goal. And so when we apply that part of understanding in our practices, whether it is in our business practice or spiritual practice or how we interact with our friends, families, and whatnot, we start to realize that there is a level of work that needs to be done. And hey, good morning, Graham. I see you guys coming through. There's a level of work that we have to do that's really worth it. It's all worth it in the end. Like, yes, it's tedious in the moment or in the midst of it. And yes, it's a change. It could really just really be a change, changing a habit or changing a pattern. Or once you're aware of a pattern, now you have to create new patterns. And you could be in the beginning phases of it, and then you fall off your pattern because you're so used to your old pattern. And then you go through this whole like mental beating yourself up for getting off the pattern. But it's like, hey, you spent all this time in the old pattern and you only been in your new pattern for a few days. Give yourself some grace, but understand that every day is taken by, like I said, bite-sized pieces. Don't try to stuff the whole, plate in your mouth. Let's start with each entree or, each bite, one bite at a time. So that was really the message of what's today, talking about how to release the anxiety of always thinking that you have to figure everything out at once, or the anxiety of information hoarding, or even the anxiety or the paralysis analysis of gathering so much without really realizing, okay, you have a harvest full of knowledge right now. How are we going to disseminate this knowledge based on what you already have and what you already know, and applying this or learning to find ways to apply it, so that you can continue to see the results as you get closer to your goal, and realize that the goal isn't the prize. It's actually the journey within to get to the goal. The journey and the people you'll meet, the experiences that you'll gain, the growth and the wisdom that comes from applying and using the knowledge and applying it into wisdom. So that's really kind of where this topic is today, as we discuss this power of prayer and realizing that in the release is where we find the power. Because it's not about us hoarding and holding on to it. It's really about us to releasing and creating and doing. But any comments you guys want to add to that conversation there? I know I do want to add this. This week we have our new moon coming up, which is going to be in Leo. So anytime we have a new moon, it's always going to be, the moon is going to be the same sign as the sun. With the new moon, as a full moon is opposite sign of the sun. Like Nikki said, life is a prize, but to live doesn't mean you're alive. Exactly. I really do like that line. Yeah. And life really is a prize. And we have to realize that sometimes we put the prizes on the outcome or the prize on the goal, when really just to be here, to even have to even work towards an outcome, to even have an idea of a goal, and to actually be in the physical form to create and manifest it is the prize. And I think, to my opinion, I think we put too much emphasis on the dead, as far as people who've passed away, as if that is the prize, which I think that is a level of our prize, but to focus so much on the people who came before us. And that's not that you don't venerate or admire people who came before you, but it's like, live your life now. Why wait till you're dead and gone to want to be looked as a prize, or want it to be looked as some type of goal or whatever? Why not be it in the moment? I think a lot of times society puts so much emphasis on people after they're gone versus why they're already here. So enjoy your flowers while you're here. It's all worth it, right? Enjoy yourself while you're on your journey. And another thing that's really interesting to realize too, or as far as, realizing it pays off, is having trust in the process, trusting yourself while you're in your process. And it's okay not to know everything. It's okay not to have it all together at that moment. It's okay. That's the whole beauty of processes. There's levels, and there's, like I said, levels to enjoy. So definitely, let's see. And another thing too, I think when it comes to manifestation, I'll add this. When it comes to manifestation, I think the hangups, or I notice the hangs that we have, and when it comes to manifesting, is that sometimes that we want to control how the manifestation is supposed to come to us without realizing that when you release it to the universe or release your, to God or however you release it to, is to recognize that it's going to come back to you. So you don't have to say, okay, I really, really want this particular thing to happen. And then now you're trying to create situations to make it happen versus allowing the universe to allow it to play out for you. So that's another way that we hold up or hold back on our manifestations, is when we try to mentally want to control how it's supposed to manifest. And that stifles the spirit, that stifles spirit from doing what it needs to, because you're not creating avenues anymore for it to flow to you. You're actually trying to create restrictions on how it can come to you. So that's another way to really look at it in perspective, as far as releasing, and how releasing is beneficial to not just realizing that the journey is worth it, but also to having your manifestations come to you in a more smoother manner versus you trying to force it to happen. Hey, Raven, I see you coming in chat. Hey. All right. Thank you guys for tuning in with me. We're talking about the power of releasing, as far as letting go of the what feels to be hard in the moment, like when you're sticking to a goal and you're in the meat of it, in the thick of it, and you start to lose inspiration because all you see is the work before you versus really looking at the goal ahead. And sometimes we can get overwhelmed by the things in front of us that we have to do. But remember, change comes in bite-sized pieces. And so I really feel like this is a timely message, because we're really coming down at the end of summer and getting into the fall, which is my favorite season. I love fall or autumn. And so it's really about now kind of coming inward with ourselves and slowing down, and being not so much observant of self, but doing a self audit at this time. It's like, okay, we gathered all this information. I gathered all these tools. I've harvested all of this food. Now it's time to disseminate on how to better utilize it, because we're coming into a new era. Because after the fall, we're going into the winter, and then winter is really where you start to really see the birthing of yourself, or the formulating of yourself, and the placements in your life, and where you're trying to go, and what you're creating, and who you're connected with. And then when we go into the spring, it's really about bursting forth into a newness based on everything that you have gathered thus far. So it's a beautiful journey, that cycle of a journey too. And it's just being in tune, or being in alignment. That's the better word, being in alignment. And trust in the process. But that's really all I wanted to really share on that topic. If there's some things you guys want to add or converse on, we can do that as well. I have a few other topics I want to talk about on another live. But anything you guys want to add to today's conversation thus far? Thank you for doing the work. Oh, thank you guys for doing the work too. Like, we doing it together. It's I was sharing with another friend of mine. I was just saying, yeah, sometimes when you're in the middle of things, you're just like, oh my God, I don't want to do this. And it's not that you don't want to do it. It's just like, you just realize, I guess what is the old self of how you used to be really wants to kind of come in and wants to like stay the same way, when you're like, your spirit or your inner self is like, no, we need to keep pushing forward. That's when you know it's really worth it, when you start having that inner battle within you. It's like the Native American tale of the two wolves. And hey, my brother's in the building. Hey, bro. It's like the story of the two wolves. Right. And it's, let's see. So with the new moon, is it still a good time for releasing, or is it better to manifest? I feel like there's a lot of emphasis on manifesting on this journey. Yeah. I think with this new moon, since they're both in Leo, I think this is a really great time to release. And like I said, in releasing, it's still manifesting, releasing yourself from the outcome on like how it's going to get there. just release and believe and have faith that it's all going to come together. And with Leo energy, what I take with it, it's just really about being, like you're just being yourself. You're being your bright, shining self. So for you, being all of that within yourself is how to really release, right? Release from the anxiety, release from the control or the limitations that we want to do to try to make it come to us. Release that aspect, because when you really let it go is when it is able to come to you quicker, which is so interesting. It's like, wow, letting go is really bringing something closer to me. So that's my concept on the release. And I do agree with you. There is a lot of emphasis on manifesting. And I shared this in another live, that we do focus so much on manifesting, but there isn't enough focused or talk about how to sustain your manifestations, because we're great at manifesting things, but sometimes we can manifest so much stuff that we create a bigger mess than what we previously, what we was prior to manifesting. And I think that could be overwhelming for a lot of people too, because then they feel like, oh, I get all these things lured to me, but I don't know how to care for it all. And it's right there coming with understanding responsibility with manifestation. There's a responsibility of manifesting, because it's like creating a child, whether you're manifesting a physical child or an idea into form. It really is something that you have to put nurture and time and care in. And sometimes we manifest more than what we can really give time to. And then we want to blame deities or other people or whatever situation we might want to blame as why things are not working out for us, when in actuality it was just because our eyes got long and we wanted to keep manifesting and maybe just wanted to see if it really even worked. Sometimes that happens too. We manifest things just to see if it really works, and then realize, okay, this works. So let me be responsible with this gift, this co-creative aspect of myself. But that's my viewpoint. But I think I was going to go into something else before I went into that. Was there anything else you guys want to talk and discuss or share while we're here? But yeah. But like I said, thank you guys for tuning in with me, guys, and doing this power prayer. It's really, like I said, this has been insightful on so many levels for me. I can only imagine for you guys too. And I get the emails and I'm like, yay, and the messages and the comments. I definitely appreciate you guys sharing your journey with me as I share mine, and we continue to grow with each other and expand. That's what I like. This is what I'm here. This is my divine tribe. We're putting our tribe together and growing. But all right, ladies and gents, this is all I have for today. I'm looking to maybe come back live later today. If not today, it'll probably definitely be later in the week. Because another topic I want to discuss with us all. But all righty, guys. Thank you guys for tuning in. Until next time, this is Thierry Divine. Y'all have a wonderful day. Talk to y'all later.